In 1992, a shy 18-year-old girl from a small town in Germany sent in a photo to enter a modeling contest, mostly because her friends convinced her to. She had no professional experience, no agency, no connections. She just wanted to see what would happen. What happened next changed her life and the fashion industry forever. Today, she's judged on some of the biggest stages in entertainment, built business empires, hosted award-winning television shows, and become one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. But her story is far more layered than just Supermodel. This is the complete story of Heidi Klum, her rise, her reinventions, her setbacks, and how she built a career that has outlasted almost every other model of her generation. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Heidi isn't just a model. She's one of the smartest brand builders in modern entertainment. Heidi Klum was born on June 1st, 1973, in Bergisch Gladbach, a quiet town near Cologne, Germany. Her father worked as an executive at a cosmetics company, and her mother was a hairdresser. Growing up, Heidi wasn't the kid who dreamed of stardom. She actually studied fashion design and had ambitions of becoming a designer herself, not the face in front of the camera. Everything changed in 1992. A German television show called Model 92 was holding a nationwide competition, and Heidi's friends pushed her to submit a photo. She almost didn't. Out of over 25,000 applicants, she made it to the finals and won. The prize wasn't just a trophy, it came with a modeling contract worth roughly $300,000, an almost unbelievable sum for a teenager who, until that point, had no professional modeling experience whatsoever. That single decision, sending in one photograph, is the moment that launched one of the most successful careers in modern fashion history. Winning the contest opened the door, but breaking into international fashion was a different challenge entirely. Heidi had to prove she could compete with models from Paris, Milan, London, and New York, cities with fashion histories far older and more established than her small German hometown. She began working steadily through the mid-1990s, appearing in campaigns and editorials across Europe. But her real breakthrough came when she moved to the United States and began working with American designers and publications. In 1998, everything changed again. Heidi was chosen to walk in the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and by 1999, she had officially become a Victoria's Secret angel, one of the most coveted titles in the modeling industry. She would go on to be one of the faces of the brand for over a decade, becoming instantly recognizable in the iconic angel wings that defined the brand's marketing for years. During this period, Heidi also became known for something else that set her apart from many of her peers. She wasn't afraid to be funny, playful, and a little goofy in interviews, a personality trait that would later become one of her biggest career assets when she transitioned into television. By the mid-2000s, Heidi recognized something important. Modeling careers, no matter how successful, have a shelf life. Rather than wait for the industry to move on from her, she decided to build something of her own. In 2004, Heidi co-created and began hosting Project Runway, a reality competition show where aspiring fashion designers competed for a chance to launch their careers. The show was groundbreaking. It wasn't just about drama and elimination. It genuinely helped launch real careers for designers. And it gave viewers an inside look at the fashion industry that had never really existed on mainstream television before. Heidi wasn't just the host. She was an executive producer, meaning she had creative and business control over the show's direction. This is a crucial detail, because it shows that even at this stage of her career, Heidi wasn't just interested in being in front of the camera. She wanted ownership. Project Runway ran for over 15 seasons and won multiple Emmy Awards. It cemented Heidi as far more than a former model. She was now a respected television personality and producer, someone the industry trusted to build and run a successful show. Around the same time, Heidi also began hosting Germany's Next Top Model, bringing her modeling expertise back home to Germany, where the show became a massive rating success and made her a household name across Europe as well. In 2013, Heidi joined the judging panel of America's Got Talent, one of the most watched reality competition shows in the United States. This role introduced her to an entirely new, broader audience, people who may never have followed fashion television, but watched AGT every week. On the show, Heidi became known for her honest, sometimes brutally honest critiques, her warmth toward contestants, and her willingness to hit the golden buzzer for acts she genuinely believed in. Her chemistry with fellow judges like Simon Cowell and Howie Mandel made her a fan favorite, and her presence helped reinforce something important. Heidi Klum wasn't a one-dimensional celebrity. She had range. She could be glamorous, funny, sharp, and emotionally genuine, all in the same show. This period arguably marked the height of her mainstream American visibility. She was no longer just the supermodel. She was a full-fledged television star in her own right. No story about Heidi Klum is complete without talking about Halloween. Since the early 2000s, Heidi has thrown an annual Halloween party that has become a genuine pop culture event. But it's not just the party, it's her costumes. Heidi has transformed into a peacock, an alien, a werewolf, a decaying corpse bride, and even into other celebrities, using elaborate prosthetics and makeup that can take up to 10 hours to apply. What makes this notable isn't just the spectacle, it's the level of commitment. Heidi treats Halloween as a genuine creative outlet, often working with professional makeup artists and special effects teams months in advance to plan each look. It's become such a signature part of her brand that entertainment media now anticipates her costume reveal every single year, treating it almost like a fashion show unto itself. While her television career kept her in the public eye, Heidi was quietly building something many former models never managed to build, a genuine business empire. She launched her own clothing lines, a fragrance collection, and intimate apparel brands. She's worked on collaborations with major retailers, bringing accessible fashion to a mass-market audience, rather than keeping her designs limited to high-end fashion houses. She also became a savvy entrepreneur in the media space itself. As an executive producer, she has had creative and financial stakes in the shows she's hosted, rather than simply being a paid talent. This distinction matters enormously in entertainment, where the difference between being an employee and being an owner can define long-term wealth and career longevity. By diversifying across fashion, television production, and consumer products, Heidi built a career model that many modeling industry professionals now point to as an example of how to survive, thrive, well beyond the typical modeling career window. Heidi's personal life has often played out in public. She was previously married to British singer Seal, and the two share several children together. Their relationship and eventual divorce were widely covered in entertainment media throughout the 2010s. In 2019, Heidi married German musician Tom Kaulitz, best known as a member of the band Tokyo Hotel. The couple's relationship has often been described as playful and close, and they frequently appear together at public events, including, of course, Heidi's annual Halloween party, where Tom often participates in her elaborate costume concepts. Heidi has been open in interviews about balancing motherhood with an intensely demanding career, and she's often cited her children as one of her biggest motivations for building long-term, stable business ventures rather than relying solely on modeling income. So, what makes Heidi Klum's story genuinely remarkable? It's not just that she became a successful model. Plenty of people have done that. It's that she recognized, earlier than most in her industry, that modeling fame is temporary, unless you build something that outlasts it. She moved from being photographed to producing the shows herself, from walking runways to owning product lines, from being judged to sitting on the judging panel. Decades after that first photo submission in 1992, Heidi Klum remains one of the most visible and commercially successful figures to ever come out of the modeling industry. Not because she stayed a model, but because she refused to be defined by just one role. Whether she's on a runway, behind a producer's desk, in werewolf makeup on Halloween night, or sitting behind the judges' table on primetime television, one thing has remained consistent throughout her career. Heidi Klum has always found a way to reinvent herself before the industry could do it for her. That's the full story of Heidi Klum, model, host, producer, entrepreneur, and one of the most enduring personalities in modern entertainment. If you enjoyed this deep dive, let me know in the comments Which chapter of her career surprised you the most? And if you want more stories like this one, make sure to subscribe, because there's a lot more where this came from.